Have you ever forgotten a simple word mid-sentence, like calling a refrigerator a cold box, or pausing to recall the word umbrella? New neurology research warns that these mild word slips, once dismissed as harmless aging, may actually be early cognitive red flags. On Wellness 60 to 100, we uncover how these subtle language lapses could predict dementia years before memory loss even begins, and what to do if you notice them. In today's video from Wellness 60 to 100, we explore why minor word-finding issues in adults over 60 are getting serious attention from neurologists. You'll learn how these early speech disruptions may signal future dementia risk, and how to recognize the difference between normal aging and signs that warrant action. Stick around to discover proactive steps for protecting your brain. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, geriatric neurologist with 15 years of experience helping older adults stay mentally sharp. If you're concerned about memory, focus, or word recall, be sure to subscribe to Wellness 60 to 100 and tap the bell for weekly insights on healthy aging and cognitive wellness. In recent years, neuroscientists have discovered that language difficulties, especially mild word slips, may be one of the earliest cognitive signs of dementia. These small lapses often occur years before more obvious symptoms like memory loss or confusion. What makes this finding critical is that speech production involves multiple areas of the brain working together, particularly the left temporal lobe, Broca's area, and the hippocampus. When subtle disruptions begin in these areas, it can first show up as hesitations, mislabeling familiar objects, or using vague terms in place of precise ones. A 2023 longitudinal study published in Neurology followed over 1,200 older adults for 8 years. Researchers found that participants who showed frequent tip of the tongue word retrieval issues, despite having strong memory and problem-solving skills, were significantly more likely to develop mild cognitive impairment, MCI, a known precursor to dementia. These participants didn't forget names or entire stories. Instead, they struggled with simple nouns like microwave elbow or wallet. This pattern, now called lexical retrieval difficulty, is considered a subtle warning sign that the brain's language network may be under stress. Why does this matter? Unlike memory loss, which people often notice and report, word slips are easy to dismiss as fatigue, distraction, or normal aging. But repeated word-finding issues that occur without emotional distress or environmental explanations suggest early changes in how the brain processes and retrieves information. These slips may reflect early atrophy or metabolic decline in the regions that manage language and verbal fluency. Additionally, changes in white matter, especially in language tracts like the arcuate fasciculus, can slow down the connection between thought and speech. This results in slower sentence construction, longer pauses, or word substitutions. Importantly, this doesn't mean every senior who forgets a word occasionally is at risk. But when these lapses happen more frequently, or interfere with social conversation, it's time to pay closer attention. In the next section, we'll explore one key nutrient deficiency that silently worsens language processing speed, and the simple food that can help reverse this trend. The first nutrient that directly supports language processing and protects against early lexical decline is choline, and the most convenient whole food source for seniors is the humble egg yolk. Choline is the biochemical precursor to acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that drives verbal fluency, attention, and memory consolidation. When acetylcholine levels drop, the brain's language circuits, especially Broca's and Wernicke's areas, struggle to retrieve and articulate words quickly. This manifests as those frustrating tip of the tongue moments that neurology research now links to heightened dementia risk. Each large egg yolk supplies about 150 milligrams of choline, roughly 1/3 of the daily requirement for adults. Unlike plant-based choline sources such as soy or quinoa, egg-derived choline is packaged with phospholipids that enhance absorption into neuronal cell membranes. Seniors often absorb nutrients less efficiently due to lower stomach acid and slower bile production, making the bioavailability of choline in egg yolks especially valuable. Beyond choline, eggs also deliver vitamin B12, lutein, and zeaxanthin, all of which reinforce neural pathways involved in visual word recognition and cognitive flexibility. B12 supports myelin sheath integrity around language-related nerves, while lutein and zeaxanthin reduce oxidative stress in the visual cortex, facilitating faster reading and comprehension. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that older adults who consumed one egg daily for 6 months improved verbal fluency scores by nearly 10% compared with those who avoided eggs altogether. To maximize benefits, aim for 1 to 2 whole eggs at least 5 days a week. Poaching or soft boiling preserves choline content better than high-heat frying, which can degrade delicate phospholipids. If you're watching cholesterol, remember that current guidelines allow up to 7 eggs per week for most seniors without increasing cardiovascular risk, especially when paired with a diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. For those allergic to eggs or eating plant-based, consider adding sunflower lecithin or shiitake mushrooms, both moderate sources of choline, though you may need larger portions to match an egg's choline density. Always pair choline-rich foods with leafy greens high in folate, such as spinach or kale, to further support methylation processes that keep neurotransmitter production running smoothly. In the next section, we'll uncover a second nutrient, found in a colorful berry, that speeds up neural transmission and sharpens word recall even under stress. The second brain-nourishing ally for smoother word retrieval is vitamin C, concentrated in wild blueberries. While vitamin C is famous for immune support, emerging neurology research shows it also accelerates neurotransmitter synthesis and protects language centers from oxidative injury. Acetylcholine and dopamine, 2 chemicals crucial for verbal fluency, are produced in vitamin C-dependent reactions. When vitamin C reserves are low, message transmission between Broca's area and the prefrontal cortex slows, causing hesitations and word substitutions that seniors often dismiss as just getting older. Wild blueberries pack nearly 30% more vitamin C than cultivated varieties and supply potent anthocyanins that readily cross the blood-brain barrier. These pigments combat free radicals that accumulate in aging neural tissue, particularly in white matter tracts connecting language and memory hubs. A 2024 clinical trial in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that adults over 60 who consumed 1 cup of wild blueberries daily for 12 weeks scored significantly better on rapid naming tasks and verbal working memory tests than a placebo group. Functional MRI scans revealed enhanced activation in the left temporal lobe, the brain's lexical warehouse, suggesting improved neural efficiency. Preparation matters. Eat blueberries raw or lightly thawed from frozen to preserve vitamin C, which degrades with prolonged heat. Blend them into a morning smoothie with kefir, or sprinkle over oatmeal cooked with cinnamon for steady glucose release that fuels extended conversation sessions. Pairing blueberries with a protein source such as Greek yogurt slows digestion, allowing vitamin C and anthocyanins to be absorbed gradually, supporting sustained neurotransmitter production throughout the day. For budget-minded seniors, frozen wild blueberries are often more affordable and nutritionally comparable to fresh. Avoid sugar-loaded blueberry jams or muffins, which contain minimal fruit but ample refined carbs that spike inflammation and counteract cognitive benefits. If fresh berries are unavailable, substitute with kiwi or guava, which rival blueberries in vitamin C, though they lack the same anthocyanin profile. Aim for at least 1 cup of wild blueberries 5 days a week. Consistency is key. Vitamin C is water-soluble and not stored in large amounts, so daily intake maintains steady brain levels. Those on blood-thinning medications should monitor berry intake with their physician, as high anthocyanin consumption can mildly affect platelet function. In the next section, we'll explore a third nutrient hidden in leafy greens that strengthens the brain's language pathways and shields against age-related gray matter shrinkage. The third nutrient vital for preserving language processing in older adults is folate, a B vitamin found abundantly in dark leafy greens, especially raw spinach. Folate plays a central role in neurotransmitter synthesis and DNA methylation, 2 processes essential for keeping the brain's communication pathways sharp and stable. Seniors with low folate levels often experience slower language recall, difficulty constructing sentences, and frequent pauses during conversations, all of which mirror early lexical impairment patterns tied to dementia progression. Folate supports the integrity of white matter tracts connecting Broca's area, the hippocampus, and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. These are the circuits responsible for turning thoughts into speech, storing vocabulary, and sequencing ideas during dialogue. When folate levels drop, homocysteine, a toxic amino acid, builds up in the bloodstream. Elevated homocysteine is strongly associated with gray matter shrinkage in regions linked to verbal fluency and memory. A 2021 study from the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors with low folate performed significantly worse on verbal naming tests and experienced more pronounced atrophy in language-related brain regions over a 5-year span. A single cup of raw spinach contains about 58 micrograms of folate, providing over 15% of the daily recommended intake. Spinach also delivers magnesium and vitamin K, nutrients that support nerve conduction and vascular flow to cognitive regions. To optimize folate intake, seniors should consume at least 2 to 3 cups of raw or lightly steamed spinach per week. Steaming is preferred over boiling, which leaches water-soluble B vitamins. When raw, spinach is ideal in salads, green smoothies, or as a base under grilled fish or eggs. To enhance folate absorption, pair spinach with vitamin C-rich foods like tomatoes, bell peppers, or citrus vinaigrettes. This not only improves nutrient uptake but also helps counter oxidative stress that can accelerate neuron loss in language zones. For seniors with digestive issues or on medications like methotrexate or acid blockers, absorption may be impaired, so folate levels should be checked annually through lab work. Avoid relying on synthetic folic acid found in heavily fortified cereals, which can be poorly metabolized in older adults. Instead, prioritize whole food folate to naturally protect your verbal fluency, clarity, and expressive confidence as you age. In the next section, we'll examine how ignoring these nutrient needs can escalate word slips, and when to take early signs seriously. For decades, occasional word slips in older adults were brushed off as harmless senior moments. But new neurology research shows this assumption may be dangerously outdated. What seems like a simple pause in conversation, struggling to name a common object or reaching for an easy word, can actually signal early neurological stress in language-specific brain regions, including Broca's area and the hippocampus. Left unaddressed, these mild disruptions often escalate silently, predicting measurable cognitive decline within just a few years. A 2023 study in The Lancet Neurology followed 800 adults over 60 who reported increased word-finding difficulties but no memory complaints. After 5 years, nearly half of them developed mild cognitive impairment, MCI, and 22% progressed to early-stage dementia. MRI scans revealed reduced gray matter volume in areas tied to language processing and verbal memory, evidence that the brain was already under duress, despite relatively preserved recall and orientation. In short, language decline can precede and outpace memory loss in the early stages of dementia. What's especially troubling is that many older adults don't report these slips because they fear embarrassment, or assume it's normal. But neurologists now urge patients and families to treat persistent word-finding issues, especially when they interfere with storytelling, names, or object labels, as a red flag, not a quirk. This is particularly true if symptoms are increasing in frequency, becoming noticeable in social settings, or causing subtle communication breakdowns. Nutrient deficiencies only accelerate the problem. Low levels of choline, vitamin B12, folate, and vitamin C are strongly correlated with slowed verbal processing and reduced neuroplasticity. Combined with inflammation, sedentary behavior, or hearing loss, the brain's ability to compensate weakens, making slips more frequent and more disruptive. Unfortunately, by the time confusion or memory loss becomes obvious, precious intervention time may already be lost. That's why neurologists now recommend earlier cognitive screening, not just for memory, but for language fluency, word recall, and expressive clarity. The good news, when caught early, lifestyle changes, especially nutrition and brain-specific stimulation, can slow or even reverse early decline. In the next section, we'll lay out a simple daily meal plan and practical tips to support verbal agility and brain resilience, starting at your next bite. Supporting verbal clarity and reducing word slips doesn't require expensive supplements or extreme diets. It starts with thoughtful, consistent food choices. Below is a simple one-day meal plan designed to deliver the nutrients your brain needs to maintain strong language processing and communication function, particularly for adults over 60. Breakfast. Begin your day with a brain-boosting smoothie made from 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, 1 handful of raw spinach for folate, 1 banana, and half a cup of frozen wild blueberries for vitamin C and anthocyanins. Add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia for healthy omega-3s and blend until smooth. This energizing combo supports neurotransmission, memory recall, and antioxidant protection in verbal processing areas. Mid-morning snack. Enjoy a hard-boiled egg, ideally pasture-raised, to provide a rich dose of choline and vitamin B12. For added benefit, pair it with a slice of whole-grain toast topped with mashed avocado and a pinch of sea salt. This snack boosts acetylcholine production and provides lasting mental focus without blood sugar spikes. Lunch. Build a verbal fluency salad, mixed greens, raw spinach, sliced cherry tomatoes, red bell pepper strips, vitamin C, a boiled egg or grilled salmon, choline, and a drizzle of lemon olive oil vinaigrette. Add a small handful of walnuts or pumpkin seeds for magnesium, which supports nerve function. This nutrient-dense plate directly feeds the regions of your brain tied to speech and word retrieval. Afternoon snack. Choose 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt topped with half a cup of thawed wild blueberries. This snack delivers vitamin C, B12, and beneficial probiotics to support the gut-brain axis, now understood to influence verbal memory and mood regulation. Dinner. A simple plate of grilled chicken or baked tofu with steamed sweet potatoes and sautéed spinach ensures your brain ends the day fueled. Add garlic and herbs like rosemary, which have been shown in small studies to support cognitive flexibility. Avoid heavy sauces or fried foods, which may promote inflammation and worsen brain fatigue. Throughout the week, rotate these meals to include sardines, lentils, kale, oranges, and sunflower seeds, all rich in the micronutrients that stabilize speech fluency. And remember, hydration and movement enhance circulation, which means your brain can access these nutrients more efficiently. In the next section, you'll hear my final expert advice on how to monitor word slips and take proactive steps starting today. If you're noticing more frequent word slips, don't panic, but don't ignore them either. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and my advice is simple: track the frequency, especially if others start noticing too. Keep a journal of word-finding moments, and bring it to your next checkup. Pair that with a daily intake of choline, folate, and vitamin C from real foods like eggs, spinach, and blueberries. Support your brain with sleep, hydration, and verbal stimulation, reading aloud or conversing daily. Small slips can be the brain's first whisper. Listening early gives you the power to act before decline begins. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe to Wellness 60 to 100, and turn on the bell for weekly insights on brain health and healthy aging. Share this with someone who's been forgetting words more often. It might be more than just age. And leave a comment. Have you noticed subtle changes in your own speech? Your story might help others catch the signs early and take control of their cognitive future.